Okay. I've never done this before. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for being here on my show, the Pet Pig Podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you about your pig, Oliver, today. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So tell us first a little bit about yourself. Have you always been an animal lover or a pig lover?
Yes, I've always animals, mainly horses. I've grown up with horses my whole life. I have four right now, ponies and stuff like that. And I've always loved, all animals. And now that I work at am I allowed to say the name of my job?
Yeah, you can say
South
that.
Florida SPCA.
Mhm.
Okay. So I work at the South Florida SPCA, which now I'm around a lot of different animals, which obviously brings pigs, cows, goats, sheep, chickens, and horses. um, so and that's how I obviously got Oliver, and now I'm obsessed with pigs.
Okay.
But I love all animals. All animals I love. All animals. Yes.
So you work at an animal rescue?
Yes. It's
How
in the
cool.
Miami area, and it's 30 years already they've had it. My boss, she founded it herself when she was young, and
Oh,
so
wow.
and it's become a big thing. It's a big rescue. We get a lot of help from the county and stuff like that. That's actually, we have a contract with them, so when they get calls, we take in all, like, we go and pick up the animals that they like.
Okay.
Most of it's like animal. Well, it's a lot of cruelty and neglect cases we have, and also animals will just get loose and we got to go pick them up and so
Right.
their owners claim them, or if not, we rehab them, or if they're sick or whatever, and then we adopt them out
Okay, so
to
that was my
homes, to
next
pet
question.
homes.
So you do find homes for them?
Yes, they
Okay.
do. They have a really strict like vetting process. You have to fill out applications. They do background checks, like everything for any of the animals that get adopted out.
That's the best way to do it because that's the only way you know someone's motives, their experience, their
Yes.
education. You have to make sure these animals are going to good homes.
Yeah. That's why sometimes when we get cows and basically livestock other than horses, it's hard to rehome them because most people want them for other purposes,
Right.
and we don't, so they usually will end up going, like, especially the big cows we get and stuff like that, and even pigs sometimes, which we haven't had that many since I worked there, which I'm grateful for because I get nervous because I'm so obsessed with pigs now. Like, I want to know that they get a good home.
Right.
But they we've had some cows, I think, there for, I think, 5 years already, because and they're big cows, and people don't, that's not a pet, it's not
Right.
really a pet, but unless a sanctuary, somebody will take them, they'll stay with us. We don't have like a time limit on how long they can stay there.
Oh, that's good. That's so good. That's amazing what you guys are doing. So, what happened? How did you end up with a pig then? Because you weren't really looking for one.
No. So this was last year around this, what is it, February? So it was early January of 2023. It just turned, yeah, 2023. Um, I was actually leaving work, and my boss, she's like, "Oh, I just got a call." She's like, gotta go pick up a little pig." And I was like, "Oh, wow, we haven't had a pig, since I've worked here." So I was kind of excited for that. So, she went, I went home. The next morning I came in, I saw the tiniest, cutest little baby pig. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute." And we were like feeding him and stuff because he was, I mean, so little. I think the vet said that they estimated him to be maybe 2 to 3 weeks old. I mean, I think
Oh,
he still even had, you see where the umbilical cord. He was very baby tiny.
oh, wow.
So, and we had him in a little stall outside, like with all his hay and everything. But it was around that time of year, which I live in Miami, South Florida. It doesn't get cold that often, but around that time we do get some cold snaps, like down in the 40s and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't think he should, I told my boss, I was like, "He's cold." I was like, I was like, "Do you want me to take him home?" I was like, "I don't mind. My girls will love it. Like, he's so tiny. Like, what can he do?" And she was like, "Yeah, yeah. You guys want to do that?" So I said, "Sure." So I ended up taking him home, and I put pee pads like in the corners of my room because I noticed in the stall, even as little as he was already using a designated area, and it was in a corner. So I'm like, maybe I should just stick with the corner. He seems to like the corner to poop and pee. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he did right away. He was peeing on his pee pad. He picked the corner he wanted, and that's the one he stuck to. Now, I remember being scared because the whole day, it was like maybe a whole 24 hours I had him, and he didn't poop yet. And I was like, I called my boss. I said, "Hey, he hasn't pooped." Because mind you, I don't even know what I'm doing. I know what they
Right.
told me to feed him, and like, that was pretty much it. And she goes, "Well, if he doesn't poop by tomorrow morning, bring him in, and we'll have him either take him to the vet, or we'll see what's wrong with him." Well, the minute I took him outside, he pooped. So he was holding it the whole time. The whole time I was like, wow. And then that's just kind of how it was. And then, I didn't know anything about him. So I still had it in my mind. I was like, I'm just going to foster him. And so I asked my boss, I was like, well, hey, can I still take him home at night? Because I didn't want to be alone now. Because I started reading on pigs, how social they are,
Right.
how smart they are. And I didn't want to be alone, and he was a baby,
Mhm.
and I wasn't, I was already getting attached, of course. So I started bringing him home every night. While I was doing that, my boss was still going through the processes of trying to like reach out to sanctuaries and places or people, like going over things, because everybody wants them right now. Like or at that time,
Right.
people are like, "Oh yeah, I want them, I want them."
Mhm.
And my boss was like, "No, no, no, but we're trying to find the right place." And my other boss was like, "Oh, she's like, that could take a while. She's like, it could take a little while, like, to find the right place for him." So I was like, "Okay," so I have more time with him. So I would say now I had him for 2 months already, and she finally found a sanctuary that was willing to take him. And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I'm not." I was like, "I got to keep him." And she's like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "You want him?" I was like, "Yeah," because I remember telling her, like, when I first got him, I was like, "No, I'm just gonna," I was like, because I live in an apartment. I
Right.
don't think it's gonna be, if they even let me keep him there. So, and she was like, "Okay," but then I was like my heart dropped. I'm like, "No, he's mine," and he's been with me ever since.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about him. So first of all, what's his name?
His name is Oliver. My
Oliver.
boss
And
actually named him that. Yeah.
he's so cute. And how old is he now?
So he's a little, like a year and a few weeks old, or maybe
Okay.
a year and a month, because I estimated him. The vet, when we got him, was 2 to 3 weeks old. We got him around January 4th. I remember that's the first time I think I saw him, the first day I saw him. So yeah, about a year old. Yeah.
Okay. So do you know what breed he is?
We have him listed as a mixed breed. I mean, and I say he's a mini pig because he's technically not over 250. I still call him a mini pig, even though he's not pot belly. Just for my own, because I live in an apartment and stuff. So they,
Right.
the guidelines and everything.
Right.
But I mean, obviously you can tell he's a wild hawk, like
Yeah.
literally.
He's a
And it's a
big
little
boy.
crazy. Yeah.
Do you know how much he weighs?
Okay, so I had him at the vet, and the last time I had his checkup, because I took him on vacation and everything with me, and I had to get his health certificate to travel state lines.
Yep.
So he was in September. He was, I think, 126 pounds. That's what
Okay.
because they have the scale where you can walk him on.
Yep.
Now I want to say for sure though, he's probably pushing at least 150, maybe
Yeah.
160 now, because he just looks. I'm trying to control his diet because he loves to eat. Let me tell you that much. Yeah.
Yes, they
But
do.
size wise, I don't think he's getting bigger anymore. I don't know though.
Okay. When I first saw him, I thought, oh my goodness, he has the face of a Mangalitsa. A
Oh,
Mangalitsa
really?
it's a Hungarian kind of pig. Um,
Oh, wow.
they are mostly raised for meat, but a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
farms really like to have them because they have such a docile personality.
Okay.
We have one and
Oh,
she's our pet. Like she's just ours. We love her. She'll never be
yeah.
eaten. We love her too much. But she is incredible. Her breed is, I mean, she's really big, but her personality, she's so sweet. And it's so funny
Oh.
because we have a milk cow and every morning we milk. And so sometimes she gets milk in the mornings and if I walk past her with that pail, she gets so mad. She puts her mouth on the fencing and she just bites it. It's so
Oh.
funny. She
Oh.
wants that milk, but that's as far as it gets. She doesn't throw a fit. She's not like
Yeah.
wailing on the door or anything like that. Like mini
Yeah.
pigs are divas and they would be wailing on the door. But
Oh my God.
she's really calm, but he has the face very, very similar to a Mangalitsa. So I wonder if he has
Megalita.
some of that in there in him, but I mean, wild pigs could be so many things. So
Yes.
Wow.
There's a lady that because I tried searching for other people too that have like wild pigs as pets. You can't find many.
Right.
I did find one lady down here, but hers is huge. So it's definitely mixed with like a farm pig or something, but it has kind of a similar face to Oliver. But
Okay.
I think I asked her, she said he weighs over 600 pounds and he's a big
Whoa.
boy. Like, I mean, tall, like he's like a horse almost. I mean, he's really big, but he still has a similar face. But yeah, I mean, Oliver to me, he's small for a pig.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
I've
is.
seen some that are huge,
Right.
you know.
Right. And he will continue to grow since pigs grow till they're 5. So
Okay.
he is literally just still a baby.
Yeah.
But what's his personality like?
Oliver's personality, he is so he's very sweet, like, and he's very lovey. I love it when if you know when you come to greet him, he just goes really deep, like
Oh yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
sometimes they get so loud and and he'll come and nuzzle me and he sleeps with me. And I mean, he's just I love him. You know, he's very greedy. Like when it comes to food, that's one thing I need to I've taught him how to do a lot of behaviors. Like he knows how to
Mhm.
sit. I can teach him or I've taught him to spin each
Mhm.
direction. If I put my hand up, he'll back up. He goes in and out of the car if I say up, you know. He goes down the steps pretty good. He used to be so scared of steps when he was a baby. So he would actually stand, and that was the only time he'll let me carry him. Any other time he never did like to be carried. But you know, I didn't really but when he got to be about 80, maybe 80 pounds, I was like, okay, you're heavy now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, you have to try to walk down. And with food, I got him to do it.
Mhm.
Took a little while. I'll give
Yeah.
him like a little piece of something each. I think it was French fries. That's his favorite. Like I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't give it to him on a regular basis, but I'm like, I gotta use something more to get him
Yes.
to really want to do what I want to do. So, and it
Yes.
worked. So yeah.
Yes. Awesome. So is he just inside your house or like is he outside sometimes? What's his routine or what's his schedule as far as outside time?
Okay. So he basically goes everywhere with me, except for like well, when he was a baby, I actually took him in places too. I would get permission. You
Right.
know, we go to restaurants now, even I'll call ahead and if it's pet friendly, but I still let him know it's a pig because some people
Yeah.
are like, wait a second, you know,
Yeah.
just because you know, they want dogs or cats or whatever. But he goes to work with me. I work at the ranch. We have his whole little area. We call it the pig run. I mean, it's really long. It's a big wide area. It's in between the cow field and the horse field. So he goes there all day. From 7 o'clock till about well when I get off at 5, he's there and he has a swimming pool. He has everything he needs there. After I leave work, I go take care of my horses. So he goes there with me. So he's outside all day. So when
That's
he comes
awesome.
home, and then he comes home with me, and then
Mhm.
he has his little, I just bought him, it's a toddler bed actually. He has his own little bed. I have, because we just moved into a different apartment, and I have the bag of pig food in my room because I had to like put latches. He knows how to open everything, all the cabinets, all the drawers,
Oh
the
yeah.
refrigerator. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I like pig proof, baby proof the house, you know, basically. Um, but the sliding, my closet doors they slide open. He knows how to open them and he knows how to take them. Like if he pushes it hard enough, it'll just pop off the rack. So I can't let him in my room because usually he would sleep in my bed with me still, but he sleeps out here in the living room and he has his own little bed here now.
That's
But
so cute.
he will wake me up in the morning around 4 every morning since he was a baby, around 4:30 every morning. That's when he wants to eat his breakfast. I give him his breakfast and he will lay back down and go right back to sleep. And then he suckles on my pinky still.
I
Like
saw that in your
he's like a baby, he's
Instagram.
like a pacifier,
Mhm.
and that's how he goes to sleep too. He still does it. And he'll look for it. Like he'll wait if I lay with him, he'll look for and sometimes I'll try to hide my arm. I'm like, no. And he'll pull my arm out and like to suck on my finger. Yeah. And then
That is so
he'll go back
sweet.
to sleep like that. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Oh my
He's
goodness.
literally like a giant baby.
I have seen on your Instagram how you like when you get to the ranch, he just goes running.
Oh yeah.
What a
He
great
loves it
setup.
there. I'm sorry.
What a great setup to have
Yes.
that
Yes.
I mean, you live in an apartment, so that's not ideal, but he's not
Exactly.
stuck in an apartment all day. You're taking him out. He's able to be outside all day long and basically just like you go back to the apartment to eat dinner and sleep.
Yes, that's what and I'm so grateful for the way I can have that because if I wasn't able to get him outside, oh, he would for sure mess this whole apartment up. I mean,
Right.
even on my days off, he still gets outside time when I go to my horses, but it's not the whole day. It's probably like 2, 3 hours, you know, when we're
Mhm.
out with the horses and stuff. Like right now I mean, he's knocked out right now. He's been knocked out for like the last 2 hours actually. But he'll start getting in. Oh, he has his own toy box. So he'll take that whole thing out. He'll just start pulling stuff. Oh, if anything's on the counters, he'll pull it off. He just gets into stuff. But I'm so grateful for this, because I wouldn't be selfish. I want to be able to I wouldn't keep him because I'm not like, it's not fair to him if he had to be stuck here all the time.
Right.
My biggest wish is one day to get my own house with a yard and everything. Down here in Florida, it's a little expensive, so
Right.
we're working on that. Maybe one day I'll have that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's go back a little bit. Can you remember, like, I mean, it was only a year ago. So when you first brought Oliver home, did he transition well? Like, was he friendly right away? Was he nervous?
Oliver, oh, like he just woke up. Okay, he's waiting to see what I'm doing. Oliver was always friendly. He was a little scared at first, like certain things, like dogs. Actually, it's another funny thing because we touched on dogs. He's always been scared of dogs, except for my boss's puppy, which was, I mean, he was even smaller than her, and she's like a Chihuahua mix. I mean, but they used to play together and sleep and everything together when we first had him there. Because we didn't put him in the pig room when he was a pig, but he was out like, by the chicken coops and stuff, like where I could like check on him and everything. Right. But he would get nervous of some things like that, like dogs barking. I mean, I remember one time he like flattened out in the ground. He was so tiny and he just flattened out. Like he went like that and he like flattened down. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so sad. Like I was like, don't be scared. But he's actually, no, you know what? I want to say he's brave. No, he's like literally scared of his own shadow sometimes. He's like brave with certain things, and then some things he's like today he saw like a bug crawling on the floor and he went like that. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, are you scared of that bug? Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, it was so crazy.
Oh, that's so funny. It's so cute. Okay. So that's pretty typical for pig behavior. They are nervous, but as far as like warming up like as your pet and living in the house, did he do well like as far as potty training and things like that?
That's actually what made me even want to, not only reason, and that's not the reason I kept him. I was so shocked at how fast he potty trained. I don't know if that's normal for a pig. He's never ever had an accident in the house. And oh, that's another thing. I told you, I spoke to how he started using the pee pads right away when he was a baby. I would say maybe by the time he was 3 or 4 months old, because I would go get the real big ones, and I would have them, and I always keep them in his corner. He'd pee, and then I take it up, put another one, and I noticed he stopped using them completely, and I was like, I wonder what's wrong with them. I'm always like, is he okay? Like, and but I would take him outside and he would pee right away. So he literally just stopped doing that on his own. Like he doesn't use pee pads anymore.
Yeah, it is incredible. Pigs are
Yeah.
so smart. They really don't want to soil up their home area. So as soon as those muscles are strong enough to be able to hold it, they will let us know. And a lot of times it's us who stands in their way. We don't take them out soon enough when they're ready. We use that litter box as a crutch. So, just go in the litter box, and then it makes a pig that never transitions to outside. And I hate cleaning a litter box. I would much rather take my pig out.
Me too. I'm like, now that he does it, I was like, no, and I would when I noticed that he does that, so I have him on his schedule now because he goes for like the whole night too. Like I always take him out right before we go to bed and first thing when we wake up. And he's never, like I said, never had an accident. And that's the thing, even the litter box, like the fact that he stopped using it on his own, because I would probably do that too sometimes. You'd be like, oh, there's a pee pad right there, just go, no. But he won't use it. He will not. I mean, like, and I think he would hold it for a long time. It's so like almost like, I mean, it's remarkable how there was no training involved. I didn't train him. He just did it on his own. So I was like, wow, that's better than a dog even.
Yeah,
it
is.
He's out there opening my oven right now. He's trying. He got into brownies last night. So now yeah, that's him. That's him. Sophia, take the drawer out so he doesn't do that. He's going to keep, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what about other things? You talked about a little bit of a couple of tricks that he knows. What about like, is he harness trained?
Yes, he's harness trained. Basically since I was gonna say since he could walk, since I've had him, I found like the tiniest little harness. And since then he's been through, I think we're on our 5th size. Like he wears like mastiff size now. But yes, he took to that pretty well too. I mean, I have him on there. I just kind of let him walk, I don't drag him or nothing, but
Right.
and now he's used to it. He comes, that was easy too. Like it wasn't hard to do it all. And
Awesome.
even to get him to go in and out of the car, it was, it was pretty easy. And he loves actually to go on car rides. He loves to be with me.
Here's the
So
thing, you did it right because you started from the very, very beginning, taking him places, taking him in the car, putting a harness on him, teaching him things. The reason he's so successful is because you started while he was so young. I mean,
okay.
there's just no doubt about it. So
Yeah.
great job on that. You did
Oh,
really
thank
good
you.
on that, especially for not knowing anything about pigs.
Nothing. Like
Yeah.
I said, if I did know anything, it was from watching videos from you. Like I would go on YouTube. That's how I first found you on YouTube. And I was like pig care, pig anything, and a lot of your videos would pop up. So I like binge watched all of them. And I remember sometimes I would ask you questions in the comments. You always respond to
Oh,
me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's so nice! Like this is so awesome." Yeah, no, I'm so
oh,
grateful for you. Like
I'm so
honestly,
glad my videos helped. I really am. I'm just thrilled that they would help anybody. My goal is always to keep pigs in their homes.
yes.
You can't keep a pig if you don't understand, the kind of pet they are or what their behavior is. So that's my goal.
That's exact, and I try to be an advocate for them too as well. And mind you, I live in Miami, so you can imagine like we have like there's a big Cuban
Oh, right.
what is it? Presents down here is what
Yeah,
I can't think of words. So like for the holidays, like their main things is pork. They eat a
right.
lot of pork down here. So when people see me walking him around, they either look at me like I'm crazy or, a lot of people ask questions. So if they're willing to listen, I tell them, I try to give them, like just information on how smart they are and
Hmm.
everything. And that they're not just food, like
Right,
there's
right.
so much more like,
Yeah.
and I've never eaten pork. I used to not eat a lot of meat, and I mean, I'm not against eating meat or anything like that, but now I can never eat it, like especially pork. Just I'm like, they're so smart. And all animals are smart, but there's something with pigs, the way they look at you, their eyes.
Yeah.
It's like almost like he looks like through me, like he's like,
Yes.
I don't know. It's just something I can't explain, but I'm like, no, they're too smart. Like
Yeah.
I can't. And the fact that they pick up on things, it's just,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
I can't.
Their eyes are very human-like.
Yes, they are.
So
Like,
it,
yes.
so
Sorry,
it,
I'm
it
looking at him
is
right now.
really, I mean, it is like they're intuitive. They can read you. Those eyes feel like they're looking through you. I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Um, what about you have children, right?
Yes.
How does he do with your kids?
He loves them. I think he looks at us like he knows for sure. Cause I always remember you saying you have to be like the top pig. Like, like there's a hierarchy. And it's
Yep.
kind of similar with horses as well. They have a pecking
Yes.
order,
Yes,
and
they
like you
do.
gotta whoever moves for like the whole thing, like, whoever moves basically is the weak
Yeah.
one, like that type of situation. So with me, he's actually only ever maybe got fussy with me one time. And he was just when he was a baby. And I think he may have been 4 months old or so. And he likes to stand in the center console of my car.
Oh.
And I went to push him back and he actually bit me. And I said, no. And I pushed him back and
Mhm.
he threw a tantrum and he was like whining. And I was like, you don't do that. It scared me. I wasn't expecting it. So a few minutes later, he did it again. I was like, hey, I'm going to move him back again and see if he does it. He didn't do it no more. He moved back with no problems. Now my
Yes.
daughters, I think he looks at them like he wants to be above them sometimes. He doesn't do anything mean to them, but he will definitely like when I'm eating, he won't let my little daughter, which she's not little, she's 8, but he'll try to chase her off because he thinks if there's any food, he's getting it. And he'll try to like chase her off and then she runs because she thinks it's funny. I'm like, you're showing him that he's above you right now. And she's like,
Right.
oh, she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, just stand there. He's never bit them or nothing, but he
Right.
definitely, you can see like he thinks like I think he thinks that like that's his sisters or whatever, maybe,
Yeah.
friends, but
Right.
it's because he treats me differently than he treats them.
Yeah,
And if he doesn't
absolutely.
know you, like too, like people, like he'll get nervous of you. He doesn't just, it's not like, oh, like he just goes up to everybody. Like, I always tell people like, yeah, you can pat him and stuff, but he does kind of like, if he, no, like he'll get nervous around you.
Mhm.
So, and I don't want anything bad to happen. So I always say like, look, just like let him warm up to you a little bit before you just
Right.
go on and pat him and stuff.
Yeah. Does he seem to do better if with like strangers when you're not home, but like maybe out, I don't know where all you take him, but other places, not at home? Does he seem to do better there?
I want to say yes, because I've never had any issues. Like actually, and a lot of times he's distracted by other things too. Like he'll be like rooting around or smelling around.
Right.
Sometimes he'll just lay down and go to, I take him, like I said, restaurants. Like he'll usually lay down, like outside seating, of course, you know. I wouldn't like want to offend any or make anybody else upset when they're eating. So if there's outside dining, I always take him with us, you know,
Mhm.
just like, you know, usually people like it. I've never had any bad responses. I've actually had some people even message me on his Instagram, like that are local restaurants and know I have him. They're like, hey, could you bring Ollie over today? Like, you know, on the
Oh,
patio. I'm like, yeah,
uh-huh.
I'll do that, you know.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
I don't have that many people as far as visitors, but everyone that I have had, except for my one friend, like that she brought her dog, he's never, you know, it's been fine. He's never done anything. He usually ignores them too. But yeah, I think it's better outside for sure. I've noticed
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. That's pretty normal. I forgot there was a question I wanted to ask you earlier when you mentioned that you have pigs and you have horses and how pigs and horses are similar. I always ask this question to everybody who has horses. I find that if you have horses and you know, you do really well with your horses, you tend to do really well with pigs because you already
Uh-huh.
understand the hierarchy thing.
Yes. And it's like it's a no equal type situation. You're either you're top or bottom, you know, you're
Mm,
high or low is what I
yeah.
say. And that's not with horses. And it's nothing personal. Like horses don't take things personal.
Hmm.
You know, it's just how it is. And if they don't respect you, you're lower than them. And you
Yes.
don't ever want that.
No,
Because you can
no.
get hurt.
That's right. They're a lot bigger than you are. That is so funny. I
Yes.
always say the same thing. What did you just say? You said that they're either above or below you.
Like high or low. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Um,
no equals in the horse world, is what someone
yeah.
used to tell me. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
with horses, you know, and they can go to fighting, and then even if they're friends, there's always a high and a low. Like you're either you know, it's like they can still be friends. That doesn't mean they're equals. And
Yes, you
there's
said
always competing for that spot.
yes, they are. And horses don't take things personal and neither do pigs.
Yeah,
So I love that about pigs because I do a lot of like behavior training with pigs that are aggressive or with pigs that are just annoying. They are
yeah,
constantly getting into things. And so I
yeah,
work with them and I'm hard on them. I'm not saying physically hard on them, but like I make them do hard things. And as soon as that
yeah,
hard thing is over, they're done. Like they don't care. They don't hold it against me. So
yeah.
that's really neat. I never heard anybody say that before about horses. So that's really cool. That
No, it's
horses.
for sure. And even with Oliver, I remember one of your videos, or probably a couple, you probably said this. Every time if he's getting a treat or something, I tell this with my daughters all the time, he has to work for it. He has to do something, even if it's a sit, a spin, whatever
Yeah.
it is, he has to work for it. Just so he remembers, like, okay, like, you know, I'm not the
Yes,
boss here. Like, I don't just
that's right.
demand my food, you know,
Yep, that's
stuff
right.
like that.
People become like a treat dispensing toy, or
And
I always
everybody
say,
wants to feed them.
I'm not your waitress,
Yeah.
I'm like the gatekeeper. You have to show me respect in order to get what you want. Um, this is what I tell my pigs. I love you dearly, but you can't treat me that way. So if you treat me
Yeah.
that way, then you don't get your meals until your attitude changes.
Yeah.
So, and it works. And
It does.
my pigs respect me. They all come when they're called. They would never bite top hog ever.
Yeah.
So so if you can be that, you can be so successful with a pig. And it sounds like you're doing that and you understand the hierarchy thing. And that really is one of the most important things to understand when it comes to having a pet pig.
Yeah, because a lot of people, even with animals, and even in the rescue that I work with, we get volunteers that come, and you know they don't always understand like the whole horse dynamic and stuff, and they're like, oh, but like that's me, like, oh, why are
Right.
they being mean to the other horse? I'm like, that's it's, you know, and I try to explain how things work, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, it's just like
Yeah.
it's not mean, like they can bite each other right now, and 2 seconds later they're not going to think about it ever again, you know,
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
Yes. It's the same. Right now I have a litter of piglets and they are
I know, I saw them.
very rambunctious and they're always there. We have one that's not, he's more weak and he's smaller and he's a runt
Yeah.
and everybody keeps asking me, why are they picking on him? And I'm like, they're not picking on him. This is normal pig behavior. This is how they treat each other. It looks like they're picking on him because he's smaller than them and he doesn't have the energy to kind of play and fight back,
Yes.
but they're not picking on him. Actually, they're accepting him.
Wow. Okay.
Because if they didn't have anything to do with him, if they kind of shunned him,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be accepted into their herd.
Wow.
You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like he would be pushed aside. But he's
Yeah.
not. They're trying to play with him,
Oh, he just can't
So,
keep up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's doing okay. He's
Oh,
starting to
good.
grow. What do you think has been the biggest challenge having a pig?
Um, as far as like him personally, or just my whole thing was being him allowed into an apartment down here. Like
Right.
nobody, I mean, and that's what I try to explain. I'm like, it's literally, he's better than a dog. He doesn't chew up my furniture.
Right.
He doesn't ever go in the house, because I think a lot of people think when they hear pigs, they think dirty. And it's
Mhm.
really upsetting to me now that I know how they are. Because I'm like, they're literally not, they're anything but that. Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, I'll try to tell people, but a lot of people, like, they'll look at you like, no, like, and that's why I actually had to move because of him, not because of him, but the association was just, oh my gosh, even the landlord, he didn't care, but the association that I had at that apartments that I was at, they just weren't letting it go.
Mm.
And they were trying to find any reason and just complaining and stuff. And I even actually reached out to a lot of people, their bosses and everything like that. And I got them to leave me alone, because I have them registered as an emotional support animal. And so that right there helps me with the housing, like for him being able to live here. But even with that, they didn't want to, even when I have doctors, all the notes and everything like that, they still didn't want to even accept that. So I just actually it was just easier just to move. It really
Yeah.
was. I was like, let me find some apartments. I don't have to deal with associations.
Mhm.
And I did, and I remember too here, they were like, a pig, because they're animal friendly. I'm like, yeah, and I showed them pictures. I didn't have them with me at the time. I was signing the paperwork. I'm like, okay, and like they didn't seem to mind at all. And everybody here loves him. Like people, that the neighbors, all the little kids say hi to him and everything. So far so good, and hopefully
Oh,
it'll stay
good.
like that way.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do. What's your favorite part about having a pig?
Um, Besides him just being with me, and like he really has helped me, like I just love having him around. He's like my companion. After I had a little dog before, I mean, I have my horses, of course, but I can't bring them home with me every
Mhm.
day. But he's like my baby. I feel like I mean, obviously, like he's not an actual baby, but he's like my little kid. And he keeps me company when all my kids are out of the house and stuff like that. So I have mostly teenagers. I have, well, my one son, he went to the Marines, and my other two daughters, they're teenagers, and then I have a little 8-year-old. But a lot of times, like if the house is empty, he's right here with me. That's like my favorite thing about him.
Mhm.
And I mean, I just love him. Like I wouldn't change anything. I'm so happy that he's in my life.
That's
Even my
so
little daughter,
sweet.
she's like, he was made for us. I was like, yeah, he
Oh,
was. Yeah.
oh, that's so sweet. So sweet. All right. I always ask everybody this question. What is one piece of advice you would give to somebody that wanted to get a pig?
Oh, I love this question. And I tell people, I'm very honest. I said, look, pigs are not easy. They're easy at, like, if you have the time and all the resources for them, it's like how I set up. I'm so grateful and lucky. But I was like, they need outside time. They need a lot of attention. They can be destructive, like Oliver, and without even trying to. He's so big and strong, like without even trying, he can, like. I mean, I remember when we first moved in, I had the TV propped up. And I knew I shouldn't have left it there. And I left for, like, I think we went grocery shopping. I came back, the TV was knocked over and of course shattered. And I'm like, I mean, he didn't mean to, but
Right.
like that's the type, like, now, and that was I know for sure that was accident. He's not like he tried to break it, but
Right.
I tell people, and they always, it's basically having like a 3-year-old. Like he is like a dog in some senses,
Mm.
because everyone like refers to, they're like, oh, he's like a dog, because I feel like I make it look easy, but
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not. And you gotta have time, you gotta have, like, especially outdoor space. He loves being outside. Like he
Mhm.
loves it. He loves being here too. But you can tell, when we get to my job in the morning, I don't know if it's like the smell in the air. He's already like standing up and like looking out the window and like waiting for me to open the gate. And then I usually just let him jump right out. He already knows where to go. He goes back through the fence and he heads straight to his little field. And then like I give him like I usually throw like a handful of corn out because he's already eaten his breakfast. He goes there and then he's happy as a little clam for the whole day.
Yeah, it is hard in a sense, like when you have a great setup, you put the time in. Oh, those were all such great pieces of advice. You put the time in when they're little, you do the training,
Yes.
you take them places, you keep their mind open to change and doing different things. You train them, you put them in a good routine, all of these things, because like even my pigs, they're so easy. It's not hard for me to do anything with them for the same reason. It doesn't mean they're an easy pet. It means
Yeah.
that in the beginning, we put that time in. They're
Yes.
in a routine, they're in a flexible routine, and they're such great pets, aren't they?
I love them. Like I think it's perfect. Like I mean, I never knew I could love a pig so much. Like or and pigs in general now. Like I said, we when we get them in now, which is very few and far between. Like I said, we had the cutest little pot belly. I think someone like dumped her actually because we found her on the street. Um, but she was so cute. Oh my gosh. When I tell you she was so cute. Like she got snatched up like that. We had these two elderly, not elderly, it was a lady and her daughter, but they were older, like older. And they've had a pig before and like, and they took her right away. She's a house pig. Cause my boss was like, no, this is a house pig. Like she was like, and oh my gosh, when you say, and she was probably like, bossy when I was saying, right? Like when she
Oh
was
yeah.
hungry and she wouldn't shut up. Like
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, Oliver doesn't even make that much noise. It was so
Yeah.
cute though, you know what I mean? But she got snatched up right away, but I enjoyed every moment I had with her. Like she was so cute. I just love them. I don't know. I'm obsessed with pigs.
They're the best. They're the best. And people who like can't open their minds to having a pig as a pet, I feel sorry for them because they are just missing out.
Yeah. No, I mean, for sure. Like I don't know. I know there's a lot of people out there love dogs. I love dogs too, but I think they're even better than dogs, you
Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
But like I said, you just have to have the mentality for them. It's like having a type of dog that's hyper, like a big breed dog that's hyper. Like you
Right.
can't keep that in the apartment all day. So
Right.
you really have to like understand that they take a lot of time. It is like having a child almost. You
Yeah.
have to make sure they're stimulated at all times. Like they don't get bored, stuff like that
Mhm.
because of their intelligence.
Absolutely. And that's what I teach people all the time. It's so important to know these things. Now, if anybody wants to find you and follow you and Oliver's story, journey, where can we find you?
So he has an Instagram and TikTok. Now I'm like the worst at social media. I try to like force myself to get into it and stuff like that. But so I mean I have posts and I don't post like every single day, but yeah, his I think they're both the same. It's Oliver Piggy 2023.
Okay.
That's what his Instagram and his TikTok is.
All right. We'll put it in the show notes so that if anybody wants to find you, I suggest that everybody go look at this pig. This is
Aw.
not this is not a normal breed that's usually kept in the house. But you show a lot of like how you work with him, his routine, like I said, going to the ranch, I saw that on there. Riding in the car, the tricks that he knows, sleeping like with you or with your kids. I mean,
Yeah.
he's so cute. He is definitely worth following, even if you just post sometimes. So
Aw.
I think everybody needs to go check Oliver out.
Aw, thank you.
Oh, Sarah, thank you so much for being here and for talking to me and sharing Oliver with us. I'm, this has just been so nice. It's so nice to talk to pig people. This platform is so much fun to be able to hear about other pigs that are happy in their homes.
Yes, I know. And I need to catch up on the podcast. I'm so busy during the days. I don't get a lot of time on my phone. But no, I'm excited. No, but I see the clips like here and there. Like if I'm on Instagram for a few minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so good. It's gonna be so good. I saw that you did Merlin too with
Yes,
Amina, I think her name is.
Mina, yeah.
Yes, which I love them. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, they are so funny and so cute. But
Yes, they are
no,
great.
like I said, I was like, no, and I was like, oh, she has people like them on there. I was like, she'll never have me on her show. And I was, I'm gonna ask because I would love to talk to this lady. I was like, she's so awesome.
I
And you
just
actually
want
answered me. I was like, oh my God.
I
Yeah.
just want to talk to people who have pigs. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Happy pigs in good homes, that's mostly what I'm concerned about. And I
Yeah.
love for this message to be able to get out the advice, the real life experiences, because before my podcast, I mean, there was one other podcast that has a couple episodes, but really, if someone is really wanting a pig, listening to this podcast is going to help them to be able to make an informed decision.
Yeah. No, because you always hear of what happened. Why don't you want the pig anymore? If you ask
Right.
them, oh, like, well, when they get big. Oh,
Yep.
that's the number one thing too. Everyone's like, oh, that's not a mini pig. I'm like, he's not like you think of mini pigs as pot bellies, but I said no, he's a mini pig. Like, I mean, because and I try to tell people it's any pig, it's under 250 pounds, I think, right?
It's
Is that what it is?
technically 300.
Oh,
Any pig
wow.
under 300 pounds is a mini pig.
Yeah. And when I say that, you should see people's faces.
I
Like,
know. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, so like, cause like, and I explained to them how like farm hogs, they get to be like over 600 pounds sometimes. And they're like, oh my
Mhm.
God, like people don't realize it. Some people even, I think with Oliver See Me Walker, cause since I take him so many places, like even children, like it's like their first time even seeing a pig,
Right.
So it's kind of cool to see that too. And I love seeing
Yeah.
all the smiles that he makes on kids'
Hmm.
faces and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing him with us. And I look forward to just watching him grow and into his new life and happy life there on Instagram. So, if nothing else, let this motivate you that people want to see him. So
Oh,
if you do take cute photos or videos, share them with us. We want to see them.
yes. Thank you so much.